Okay, so welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Andy.
Welcome to the Aforza HQ number 2, coming live from the BrewDog Waterloo podcast studio. This is part of the Aforza Employees Insight series, and as one of probably our newest employees, how long have you been with us now?
So this is week 4.
Week four. Already making such an impact. It's great to have you on board.
Good to hear it.
I'm really excited to have you here with us today. So as I've talked about as part of this series, the Employee Insight series is all about really just rolling up our sleeves, being transparent, talking to employees about things that matter, and really just being open to the world about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and sometimes why they should come and join us. So really excited to be joined by you today. And the topic we're going to be talking about today is specifically about really the power of building an industry cloud platform with Salesforce.
Yeah.
You're a veteran to the industry. You've joined us from many years of experience there. So I think there's probably no one better to talk about this subject than you. But before we get started, maybe a bit of an introduction. Maybe talk a bit about yourself, your role and your experience.
As you said, Ben Metcalfe, joined Aforza 3 weeks ago now. So I'm a regional sales director responsible for UK and Ireland. So get the privilege of working with some of the great brands in the UK and Ireland, food, beverage, but other categories across consumer goods as well. Before that, I spent 15 years at Salesforce. Started off in sort of professional services, did a little bit of time in solution engineering, and then for the last 12 years, been in sales, working with like the UK's like strategic customers at Salesforce. Did 18 months at UiPath as well, where we went from sort of like private company to public company through an IPO. And I'm now here. It's excellent.
And what attracted you to Aforza? What made you come across?
So it's a couple of things, but definitely the people and the product. I'd worked in the past with Dom, Ed, and Nick, and I really like the culture they built here. I think that's really, really good, and they're sort of trusted, known entities to me, having sort of worked with them in the past. The product, it's. When I went online, I took a look at it. It's beautiful, and that doesn't really sort of surprise me because I worked with Nick Eales back at Salesforce when we were SEs together, and he used to create these amazing demos that we'd take. They were a delight to take to customers because they looked so good and they're just brilliant. And I look at now what he's done as like CTO, founder, co-founder. The product he's created is amazing. Customers love it. It's easy to use, and I can't really wait to get out there and sell it. It looks great.
Fantastic. And look and feel matters, right? When you're dealing with front office solutions, you're selling to sales leadership and teams that actually have to use this stuff.
Yeah.
The look and feel matters, right? So I love that point you made about just stuff that you wanted to get out there, wanted to get in front of customers, and that really counts.
It does. No, it really, really does. I think especially as a salesperson, you don't want something that sort of bogs you down in complexity. You want something that's easy to use, and time is precious. So yeah.
Excellent.
Perfect.
And alongside looking good, we know about the real business impacts. We've just had Candice in, who's our VP of Product Marketing, just talking about the business value that we're driving with our solution. And I think what's exciting is it's not just a good-looking product; it's a product that's delivering real value to the market.
Yeah, I've been here a short time, but when I look at the opportunity in the market at the moment, I think it's phenomenal. The opportunity to help customers increase their revenues, to be more effective with their trade spend, connect that sort of retail and trade promotion management together. I think it's a really, really big opportunity there. There's a huge amount of money left on the table, and I think there's an opportunity for us at Aforza to really sort of like help companies sort of recoup some of that money and increase their revenue. So yeah, it's good.
Fantastic.
Really good.
So you talked about working at Salesforce for 15 years. What's your experience been really around the industry cloud solutions? And
so you've got to think, when I joined Salesforce in 2007, there wasn't really anything like an industry cloud. There was SFA, Salesforce Automation. That was pretty much about it. But over the next few sort of like years, you started to see the platform mature. You saw the evolution of the App Exchange, and companies started to create what's probably called like industry applications, financial services, professional services, et cetera. And in my time as a salesperson at Salesforce, we worked with a lot of these different companies. And I think there was just 2 key characteristics which made them really good. Like one, they were really laser focused at solving a problem that the customers had, deep industry knowledge, and they went really deep on that problem and created value. And the second bit was the people within that organization. They really had empathy for the customers they're working with because they lived and breathed that industry. And I think when you put those 2 things together and then you sort of like multiply it with the Salesforce platform, it's just this winning combination. Really, really good.
Yeah. And that kind of dedication to the to an industry, that understanding, that intimate kind of. We talk a lot here about employees knowing the industry as well as the customers we serve. That's important, right? That's a game changer.
Yeah, very, very, very important. I think all my time here and at Salesforce, I think industry alignment is critically key. I remember when Keith Block joined Salesforce, and at the time we were probably quite horizontal focused, and he really came in and said, like, you've got to speak the language of your customers. You've got to be with your customers, be where they are, and it's all about industries, I think, going forward now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when we look at the Salesforce platform, there's been a lot of very successful companies that have been industry cloud companies that have been built on the platform. What is it about the Salesforce platform that makes it so attractive and effective as an industry cloud baseline?
So I think about, if I am or was a founder right now, creating my own company, and I was able to solve a problem for an industry or for a specific set of customers, resources are precious, and I don't want my people wasting time setting up infrastructure, creating services to sort of provide this software. I want them to focus on innovation. I want them to focus on being with the customer, understanding the challenges, and then creating a solution for them. And the Salesforce platform is the fastest, in my opinion, idea to app process, path there is, and that's really it. And couple that with it's scalable, it's trusted, it's enterprise ready. 50% probably customers I speak to already have Salesforce. So, implementing Aforza to them is as simple as sort of dropping it into their existing infrastructure, and that takes away a massive challenge. It sort of really opens up the gates to what we can do together. It is a winning combination. Salesforce, partner ecosystem, industry cloud. I don't think there's a better way to bring a product to market at the moment.
Yeah, really well put. Really well put. And what do you think? Layered on top of that, the Aforza applications really bring to that industry cloud platform.
Yeah, so I think we touched on this a minute ago. So there's things like the missed revenue opportunities. There's the trade promotion management. There's the disconnect between the retail execution. I just think there's something about timing too, right? There's what we're seeing in the environment at the moment, the macro environment. There's inflation putting pressures on. There's consumer spending, behaviors changing. That's putting pressure on. And then there's this cost of material, and they're getting squeezed from every dimension. And I think right now, consumer goods companies are just looking for help to sort of get through this. And I don't want to say it's sort of like do or die. Hopefully we don't see any disappear, but I do think there's disruption, and I do think there'll be challenges, getting their products onto the shelf at the right price where consumers are going to buy it, unless they do something now. So I think there's a great opportunity for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you say us, 1 month in, you're part of the team. It's like I said, great to have you here already making such an impact. But 1 month in, what have you seen? What excites you, and what really do you look forward to going forward?
Yeah, so the things I'm seeing, it's the product, it's how great it looks, it's the value I can already see that it's going to bring the customers. That's so important to me. I've always wanted to sell something, and I think this goes back to my consulting background. I like solving customer problems, and when I can see that there's a product that really, really helps them and solves a real problem, that sort of drives my passion. So I'm very excited about that. The market opportunity, I think, the billions of dollars, potentially trillions of dollars, which is out there on the table for us to help customers recoup, is immense. That's brilliant. And just the timing right now, I think, when you put those three things together, it's exciting.
Right?
Yeah, it feels exciting. Really, genuinely does feel exciting.
It's funny, just to double down on a point you made there, this is probably the third or fourth of the podcast projects we've done today, and one of the things that keeps coming up is that value to customer, that genuine value. And you talked about from a sales focus. You're not just here for a commission, right? You really want to help, and I think that consultative nature to what you talked about is really genuine. And I think to anyone listening who may be a future employee of Aforza looking at this as a company, I think that if you want to come and add value to the industry, this is really the place to be.
Yeah, I think there couldn't be a better place than an industry cloud company right now. I think it's a future. So it definitely is for me. So
fantastic, excellent. Well, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us today.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on and sharing all your experience and your background at Salesforce.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And really why this is the place to build that industry cloud for consumer goods.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
thanks, Andy.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.